Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your hostess with the mostest. It's Pastor Keenan, and we're back with another episode of People Suck, Love 'Em Anyways. As always, I have my hypest, up on fleek, volume 10, sidekick, Nick, with me. Nick, man, I want you to hit me with that energy and intensity as much as what you can with all that gray and brown on right now.
Woo!
That was horrible.
There you go, I know.
That was horrible. But how you feeling, bro? Talk to me just for a second.
Pretty good, pretty good. I mean, hey, it's not my birthday; it's your birthday today.
Absolutely,
so
but I'm hyped.
We're celebrating, right?
I'm hyped like every day is my birthday, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 50. You know, go shawty, it's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. We're gonna do this podcast.
Yeah,
like it's
yeah,
my
that's
birthday,
right. Take the Bacardi out.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's just for baptism Sundays. But anyways, but yeah, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, for supporting, for hitting the download button, and being a part of this whole thing. And it's great to see how much it's grown over the last little bit, and what we're doing, is definitely affecting and reaching people all across the U.S. and the world. So we're very thankful for that. And not only that, man, we have another special guest with us tonight. And let me see if I can hype him up, man, just a tad bit. He is a two-time games athlete. He is a father. He's a husband. He's a brother. He's a business owner. He's an entrepreneur. He's a churchgoer. He's one of my great friends. Shoot, man, I don't even know what else to even say. But we have none other than he puts the on his Instagram account, the Darwin Perez. Darwin, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Yo, what's up, everybody?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man.
Good.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Listen, you can't be quieter than Nick. If you're quieter than Nick, you got to get in that microphone, man. You got to bring that intensity. I want it like you're 12 minutes deep in a workout.
I don't think that was pretty quiet. I thought it was pretty good.
You thought it was good. You thought
Nick,
it was smooth.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I think he's just picking on you. To be honest with you.
Man, there's going to be shots fired before the night's over with.
That's fine.
Hey, I'm used to this. I work with this dude. So
absolutely.
You can't see, but he's flipping him off under the deck. No, I'm just kidding.
That happens a lot, man. That happens a lot.
See, the thing is that I know Keenan, Pastor Keenan.
There we go.
And Keenan.
Yeah.
and Keenan.
You better watch it.
Yeah, let's not put all the secrets out, man. Or we might get more people like that. Who knows? And you don't know, man. But anyways, very excited to have Darwin with us tonight, and just to kind of go over some stuff and, let him kind of tell his side of things, how he sees things, where he's been at. I think he's got a wonderful testimony as far as how he grew up, where he came from, what he's about, what he's been through, and how he seemed to kind of, overcome all of that through, through faith and through determination, through grit, through commitment, and a lot of different things. And, of course, how we always do, we always take everybody's story, everybody's kind of walk, and we tie it into church topics as well while we're here. So, again, very thankful for everybody tuning in, very thankful for him being there tonight. And we're going to talk from Luke chapter 16. Let's throw these couple of verses out there. This is Jesus talking in Luke 16, and we're going to start in verse 10, and it says, "The one who faithfully manages the little he has been given will be promoted and trusted with greater responsibilities. But those who cheat with the little they have been given will not be considered trustworthy to receive more. If you have not handled the riches of this world with integrity, why should you be trusted with the eternal treasures of the spiritual world? And if you've not proven yourself faithful with what belongs to another, why should you be given wealth of your own?" Now, I'm going to stop right there before we go any further and just kind of begin to dissect this a little bit, and again, jump into a little bit of Darwin's story tonight and kind of bat this ball back and forth. But Darwin, just talk to us, man, about where you grew up at, how you grew up, and, just tell us, man, a little bit of your backstory. I know people see you on Sundays. Sometimes. And
Wait, yo,
whoa, sorry. No, man. I know people.
Like that.
I know, man. I know people see you on Sundays. They see your family, man. I know they see you, they see your smile, they see your, your physical attributes. They know that you're a gym owner. They know that you're a hustler. You're out there doing, you've got 3 or 4 different businesses, and people see Darwin as a success, but a lot of people don't know Darwin's story from the beginning, from the very, very, very beginning, man. So, just for a few seconds, take us through those first moments of your life, and then we're going to tie that into, just the church phase in general too. But go ahead.
All right, man. Well, thank you again for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
It's an honor to be here. But, yeah, man, so I'm 33 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Came to this country when I was 9.
Yeah.
My parents brought me here illegally.
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and get that out of the way because I feel like that.
But you're legal now.
Yes.
Okay, all right, man. We're going to have to shut this down. We're going to have to shut this down right now.
I thought I heard a siren outside somewhere.
Maybe. Hey, are we live right now?
Oh, gosh, man.
Hey, can we edit that, please?
Yes. But go ahead.
But no, that has a lot to do with my story, so I think it's important that I say that off the bat. I was 9 years old. We came here not because we wanted to. It's just my dad killed somebody. It was self-defense. He did his time.
Yeah.
And where we're from, Mexico, it's a little town called Las Varas. That's where I was born, but we lived in a little town right next to it called Zacualpan, which is, I would say, about 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
Drive. But anyways, we grew up there. My dad just kind of just a drunk, and still is to this day.
Right.
But he was in a bar situation. One thing led to another. Some guy attacked him. He defended himself, killed that guy. He went and did his time, invested everything we had, our home, everything, to try to get a good lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up doing 5 years. But during those 5 years, we were getting death threats, eye for an eye.
Right,
it's not your typical. Third world countries are completely different than.
It's not Hodgenville.
It's not Hodgenville, So when he got out, he came to this country, and I was around, I would say I was 4 years old.
Uh-huh.
So he came to this country, raised enough money to get us all over here. There's me and another older sister, me, younger sister, and a little brother, which is a total of 4. He sent enough for us and my mom to come over here, and my mom said, pack your stuff, we're going to the States. And
right.
At 9 years old, you say, yes, ma'am, and it is what it is. We came to a good old Nicholasville, Kentucky.
Nicholasville, man. You don't have nothing to do with that.
No, I own it.
Though. Yeah, I was going to say you don't have nothing to do with that. But, let's talk about those small beginnings just for a second because, small beginnings can be tough hurdles sometimes. And we've talked about small beginnings so many times. We know that the church came from small beginnings. It was 6-8 people in the backyard. You didn't have nothing. We didn't have a building. We didn't have much going on, and then we've built it into what it is today. Even in my life, things that I've done started from nothing, and then just worked its way up. I know people can oftentimes look at, small things and be like, man, I just don't know about this, they can be hurdles to climb over, but honestly, I think I credited Charles with saying this and telling me this the other day, that it's the start that stops most people. That most people are so scared to start something, because they don't have anything to start with, or they think they don't. And the fact of it is that, we always have something little to start with, and that's what the Bible's saying right here, that if you can faithfully manage the little that you have. And, as Darwin was talking, he might not have much, but what, he still had his life, still had his breath, still had his, health, still had, there was things that God had given him to help manage. And Nick, let's go church just for a second, man. Churches out there that are just starting out, like what we did 5 years ago, we didn't have a lot, but what, we still had to manage what we had in order to get more, in order to build more and to become more. And, how important is it to know that you have to start from somewhere? Right.
Yeah. I'm actually reading a book right now called Start, which is funny. Based on everything we've been talking about, it's one of my favorite authors, John Acuff, and he's just really talking about how to start. How when you're going after your dream job, when you're going after your dream or whatever it is that you're chasing, you have to start small. You have to take that leap of faith. You have to tackle fear. Understanding that everybody can go down the road of average, but if you really want to be average and be awesome, you have to take that chance, take that leap of of faith and start.
Yeah, you got to take an exit off of the average road somewhere, man.
Yep, exactly. You have to take that exit, and you can take that even biblically. There's a path that is traveled by many. It's wide. Everybody goes down it, and that's the path that leads to destruction. But then there's the small path that leads to success and eternal gratitude, all that kind of stuff. But again, I think it's just important to understand that whatever your dream is, whether it's starting a church, whether it's building a ministry, whether it's starting a ministry, whether it's starting a business, whether it's building something for your family that that you didn't have for yourself, whether it's pursuing that thing that you really enjoy doing versus that job you hate doing, whatever it may be, it all comes down to, are you brave enough? Are you courageous enough? Do you have enough faith to say, okay, I'm going to start this. I'm going to take that leap of faith. I'm going to, get up early in the morning and work on my dream job before I have to go to my day job. Yeah. You have to have that discipline. You have to have that motivation. You have to have that passion. And it's just something that's, I think, essential no matter what avenue of life you're in, if you really want to build something great out of something small. Absolutely.
And, Darwin, talking about like whenever you made it over here to the States, and I think you said you were 9 whenever you got over here and really started just, trying to function in life. Talk about to me, or just talk about in general, how your mindset was, and really, I mean, I'm sure probably right off the bat you're thinking, I got to support my family, I got to do what I can to help my family out, things like that. So you had to start from small. I mean, it wasn't like you had somebody just handing you $100 bills or groceries or clothes or whatever. Like, you had to start small and work your way up, right?
Yeah, completely. And I completely agree with what you guys just said, but there's some times in life where you don't have an option. You don't have any other choice. You can chase your dreams, blah, blah, blah. But in my situation, I always felt like it was just what I was dealt with at that moment. I honestly never looked at it. So, yes, I had to work. I started working when I was 6 years old, selling bread in the streets of Mexico, my little town, to help out my mom, to feed her brothers and sisters. She had 2-3 jobs. Well, my dad did his time in prison, so technically I had that role of man of the house at such a young age. I didn't know any better. Yeah. But just came, that's what it is. This is what we need to do to eat, and we don't get food stamps up there. It's either you work. So that was what I was dealt. So, coming into this country, I didn't know any better. We continue that mindset. When we got here, didn't know my dad at all because, as soon as he got out of prison, he came over here. So technically, I knew my dad from 4. And then when I met him, I was 9, and I actually got to speak to him and got to actually know him. And no, man, we just work the tobacco fields, man. That's all I do. It's either that or you get beat. I mean, I didn't have any other options. If it was up to them, I wouldn't even went to school. But here in America, they make you go to school, or you get in trouble. Yeah. So they made me go to school. But when I was coming off school, I was in the tobacco fields. Man, I hated that. But again, I didn't know any better. Yeah. My mindset was, the mindset that it was installing me in, which is a very poor mindset. You're destined to work. You grow up, you get married, you have kids, and
then you just work till you die type situation.
Yeah. Never invest in nothing like that. That was just the mindset that was installed in me. So
Right. But I like, though, the fact that you started out early, because see, the thing about starting out early is that when you start out early working, I feel like you'll continue to work. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll continue to work. And, to think about it, and I'm not like, man, like, I don't take shots at people. I do, but I don't. I know.
So there's a bag of rocks right beside you.
Yeah, here we go. We're fixing to start throwing bombs tonight. But, it's like this, man, to me a lot of times. And I think we have a good friend that says this a lot, but, if you don't have skin in the game, then you don't really have nothing to lose. True. And you don't have nothing to be passionate about. And so, like, whenever we get to a point sometimes where we're starting something and we're building something, say like this church, like a lot of people don't understand my passion and my intensity and my dedication towards this thing, because like this came from nothing. Like, we built this thing through God from nothing to what it is today. And so it's like our baby. I mean, like, you know, we helped birth this. We've grown this. We've done everything with it. And so, you know, that's why, like, yeah, like, you know, I put my passion and my desires and everything into this place. And, you know, not only that, but like, you know, again, you know, the side businesses and the hustles that we do and things like that. It's like, if you start something from scratch, you're so much more passionate about it. And that's the reason why, like I said, I'm not taking swats at anybody or anything like that. But like, if you're placed in a business, in a church, in a organization that is already up and running and going and flowing smoothly, and the work has, you know, consistently been done before you got there, and all you have to do is kind of walk in and take the wheel, you know, and kind of go with it, then you don't really have any skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've not been there from the beginning. You've not been there from the, you know, you just kind of get to enjoy the fruits of the labor of the people who have kind of put in the work. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, Nick, let's talk just for a second, man, about how, you know, how building something, like in this verse right here, it says, the one who faithfully manages the little he has been given will be promoted and trusted with greater responsibilities. And so, you know, let's talk just for a second about, you know, what it takes to get to that next level as far as promotion, you know, to that. And I'm not talking about just in the physical, but in the spiritual, financial, whatever it might be, man. It's like, you know, we got to start off with the crumbs. And like we talked about Sunday with the ingredients, you know, with that little kid going, I'm hungry, Mom. Well, we got food. No, I ain't seeing no burgers. I ain't seeing no fries. And in 30 minutes, she's whipped up a meal, because what he saw, he didn't see food, but she had ingredients to make food. You know, like we have to start with that small and work our way up.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell, you know, some of the kids that I talk to, you know, from whatever age groups, you know, I've talked to kids from kindergarten through high school. I've talked to college people. I've talked to adults, and I tell a lot of them the same thing, is that, you know, everybody, you know, when I was younger, when I was, you know, maybe 14, 15, 16, whatever, you know, I always told myself,
3 years ago.
Right, yeah, exactly. But, you know, I always told myself, I was like, you know, I'll never work at like a fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll never do that. It's kind of an entitled mindset, you know. I think, you know, when you grow up in more of a cushy, you know, in a complete opposite of what Darwin grew up in.
Yeah.
You know, you grow up with that mindset of, you know, I have the ability to say, no, I'm not doing that.
And you can grow a beard.
Yeah, exactly. I can do that. You know, that is one thing that I have over. No, but he has bigger muscles than me. I can't say anything. But, you know,
just wears smaller clothes, man. That's it.
That's exactly.
Right, that's exactly it. That's the thing. But you know, just again understanding, you know, I eventually, you know, gave in, you know, out of desperacity, you know, or desperate. I don't even know if that's a word. I was desperate enough, right? I was desperate enough to where I needed a job, so I ended up getting a job at the local McDonald's here. But you know, again, through hard work, dedication, discipline, you know, just staying motivated, you know, consistently doing what I was supposed to do when I was supposed to do it, showing up, having, you know, that good attendance, that good work ethic. You know, I made manager there in, you know, about a year.
Yeah.
You know, before I was 19, I was a manager of a restaurant, you know, here in town, and then that eventually, you know, built up into bigger and greater things. You know, I did also end up getting a college degree, of course, but I mean, I showed that I was able to show up and, you know, be faithful over a little, and that eventually translated into bigger and greater things.
Yeah.
You know, and God has helped through the process, you know, because again, I have showed that I can be faithful with, you know, the menial jobs, the jobs that I didn't really like that much, the jobs that I didn't enjoy that much. You know, I was, you know, still being faithful over those things. I was still putting in my best effort. I was still doing and showing up and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And so God eventually lays other things in the way, you know, for you to take over and to conquer and to do greater and bigger things.
Yeah.
And so, you know, just understanding that whether you're in, you know, a business mindset, a church mindset, you know, whatever, you know, avenue of life that you're a part of, just understanding that you have to be faithful, you have to be motivated, you have to be disciplined even when you don't feel motivated, and you have to keep showing up, keep working, keep, you know, plowing the fields, keep sowing, you know, because eventually God is going to, you know, provide you with the harvest that you've been waiting for and looking for.
Absolutely, man.
Well,
and
small things make little things happen, right?
Yeah.
It's the little things that make things great.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Little things add up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my kid said, I mean, I'm a coach, so I take pride in that. And it is little things, whether it's good habits or bad habits, you know, they add up.
Mm-hmm.
You continue to cut corners, you know, every single day for 10 plus, 20 plus years. Those little inches add up to be miles.
Absolutely.
Miles.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm actually reading a book that Nick gave me, Atomic Habits, and same thing. I mean, it's the same
he talks
situation.
About that a lot in that
he
book.
talks, just like, you know, those small everyday choices that we think matter nothing really just build up over time, and it's so crazy to see the difference. And And that's really kind of leading into the next subject I want to hit on. As I was sitting here, man, it just, you were talking, Nick, about kind of upgrading and going up. I want to talk about building up to branch out. I think that's a huge thing, building up to branch out. And so, Darwin, we'll talk to you, man, just for a second, just about, you're in America, you're doing your thing, man. Now you're starting to get established. You were a great wrestler during high school, things like that. And left your name on the record books, I think, maybe. And you meet your wife, you get married, and then so now you're starting to kind of venture into this whole field of CrossFit and things like that, and it's like, man, your life really starts to take off in this direction, in the physical direction of CrossFit, man, and you start training and you start doing, and then you become Darwin Perez, this elite athlete, that you are now on the world stage. Now you've came from Little Mexico to, do you like how I did that in Little Mexico?
To become Mexico's fittest.
To become the top Mexican athlete, and so you're getting to that point now. Now you're building and now you're going. But I mean, that's not without the dedication behind the scenes of the working out and the eating right and the mentality and the, we've talked about this, about how you would train for hours upon hours every single day. And but now you started to build. Now you're starting to build, and you're getting put on a stage that little boy Darwin Perez probably may have never thought about when he was 6, 7 years old, carrying that bread tray around, trying to make ends meet, for his family, just to make sure that they had enough to eat. And now you're catapulted onto the national stage right here, and now you have a platform to show people and tell people kind of your story, right? Mm-hmm. And so let's talk about how important it is that you continue to build, and we'll go into different areas of your life, but let's just talk about this for a second, about how you're building now to branch out and actually just kind of show people, that you can overcome your circumstances. You can overcome your past.
Yeah, you can. Well, since I was a little kid, man, to be honest with you, people always ask me, did you have that mindset? I didn't have that mindset, the confidence that I have now. That came with CrossFit, and we can talk later about that, the importance of that. But since I was a kid, I used to always tell myself, I'm going to be a millionaire. And I remember one guy was like, well, how are you going to do that? I was like, I don't know, man, but I'm going to be a millionaire one day.
Good conversations with God, man.
Yeah, I'm going to be a millionaire one day.
Yeah.
But so, like I said, I've always been a hustler. I've always had that ambitious, I don't want to say for money, but just to make a buck, find ways to make a buck.
Yeah.
I got into CrossFit just because I was trying to I thought I was a waste of talent, man. I thought I was... after high school, being illegal, I was still illegal at that time. All the scholarships I got offered, well, don't mean anything if you don't have Social Security. So,
right.
Started hustling and busting my butt and, figuring out ways. And I just felt like a waste of talent. And, CrossFit came along and just, like I said, sometimes you just got to play the hand that you dealt, man. And
that's
my life,
that's a
man.
huge thing.
I've been dealt 7 deuce, which is probably the worst hand in poker. I always say that, but I play that like pocket aces, bro. I'll play that, and it is what it is. I'll play that.
I'm over here like 7 dudes. What? Like
7
pocket
deuce.
Aces? Who?
7 deuce is the
we gotta
worst
take them to a
possible
casino.
hand.
Yeah, I need a thesaurus.
I'm up here talking about gambling.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
no, but
man.
It's always kind of just been my mindset. The worst hand. I don't think I've always been dealt a good hand. And, I just play to the best of, of my abilities, man. And it's always been like that. Now, of course, I'm, like you said, I'm building, I'm growing. And of course, I'm in a position where hands are dealt a little bit better.
Right.
And opportunities are better. So I take advantage of them. But I'll never forget, it's always been me, man.
What was it like to get on that national stage for the first time? Just to be able to see people from all different walks of life, and did you really feel like it maybe at that moment that you quote unquote made it? No,
man. I visualized that for years. I practiced my speech for years in the shower. What I was gonna say.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people. You got to see it, man. You got to see it. You got to see it before it even happens. Like you said. You speak it, say it, and see it. You say that here at church all the time. I spoke that. I believed it. And to anything I do, I always speak it like I'm going to accomplish, not how I'm going to. So I always envisioned myself making it to the CrossFit Games. I didn't think I was going to represent Mexico like that, but when I made it to the stage, yeah, it was awesome. It was good, but man, I already seen it. And I know that kind of sounds cliche and kind of arrogant it might sound, but honestly, I practiced that for years, bro.
Yeah,
so it was cool.
Yeah.
I got it. Awesome. But like I said, man, it's...
But now you're on a platform because now you're going from CrossFit Games athlete to now you're bringing that back to Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and now that becomes the marketing point and what we're talking about, the building up to branch out, because now you can branch out because now Darwin Perez, CrossFit Games athlete, has started his gym, Sons CrossFit.
Well, to be honest with you, man, I don't think CrossFit it's really who I am. And I know it kind of sounds bad. I love CrossFit. I love exercising. I love pushing myself. But I don't want to be remembered for that CrossFit guy, that gym dude.
Right.
I hate that, honestly, which I'm known for that. CrossFit didn't make me a lot of money. I've told you this plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
What it did do is gave me a confidence that's worth over millions of
Right,
dollars.
right.
That when whatever I do, and which is fitness, I change people's life through fitness, I know that I'm the baddest dude.
Yeah,
That's the only thing he's given me, that kind of mindset, that kind of confidence. But at the end of the day, man, I don't want to just be known for that CrossFit dude. There's more to me than that.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll get your story out just for a second. Who do you want to be remembered as? You're building up, now you're branching out. Who do you want to impact?
I want to be remembered, dude. I want to change not just generation of curses, not just in my family, because like you said it, who was it? I mean, I'm the only kid I'm the first one out of my family probably that's owned his own home. I'm the first one to own the first business. I was the first one to go to college. After I became legal, I did go for a year or two. That wasn't for me, but I was the first one. I was actually the first one to graduate high school. Yeah. I think my brothers... 2 of them drop out. But anyways, I want to change generational curses. My whole family is... I used to hear this all the time. You're just going to be just like your dad. Yeah. A drunk. You're going to end up in jail. Yeah. My uncle even told me that. So I want to change that, man. So what I want to do is I want to change first of all, generational curses for my family. Yeah. But also I want to be known for that guy, man. That guy made it. Right. Not only can I relate to the American culture, I can also relate to the Hispanic culture because, I'm still very well connected to that culture of mine. I want to relate to kids who have no goals, who have no inspiration that, hey, man, I came from here and you can be here. I want to inspire. I want to be people know Darwin, man. That kid coached my son, not just in the physical, but the spiritual and the mental. Mm-hmm. And it was that itch that helped him make it to the next level and, make him or her want to better their life through fitness or whatever that is. I don't want to be known for a CrossFit guy, man. There's more to me than just that. So that's who I want to be. I want to break generational curses. I want to encourage the youth, especially kids who come from nothing, because I can relate to that. And I just want to give them hope, man, that if you really just trust in God, honestly, I know it sounds so cliche, but honestly, I think
so everything
simple.
We say is cliche, man, whenever just trust God, and it's like,
just pray.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Trust God and just get out the way and just trust Him with all your heart, and everything will happen. Is that simple.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's go back to church aspects just for a second, Nick, and right there, the building to branch out, man. It's like, we come in this place, we have this place established. We're successful here. The spirit moves here. There's freedom here. There's people coming. It's, everything's growing, booming, doing great. We're doing different things. We're branching out now. And, we're seeing different ministries take place. And, shout out, Easter before too long. We're going to have, dramas and skits and plays and things like that, man. And, and it's just like there's so much going on now. And it's like, you have to get to a point. And I think I think me and Darwin's talked about this as far as business has come. But, it's almost like you have to get what you're doing built up, running, functioning, and going great, man. And then it's like, then you look for those areas and those avenues to just walk down and branch out to. And it's like, now we're hitting church people on Sunday, but now who are we hitting on Monday? You know, who are we hitting on Tuesday? You know, let's talk about that for a second, man.
Yeah, I mean, you just take, Fruition, our church here as an example, how we, you started from so little and you've built and built and built and built, and we've added a lot over just the last 2 years.
Absolutely.
We kind of, we put our live stream up on YouTube now. We started a youth ministry where I'm having kids who probably would have never come to church before come to church.
Yeah.
I'm kind of inspiring these kids to bring kids to church with them. I'm very, very thankful that I've been able to have that opportunity, and then, we took the podcast, for example, we're in several different countries, we're in several different states in the United States of America, we're spreading that out, we're trying to reach as many different people and in as many different ways as possible. We do also want to make sure that everything we do outside of the main church is, all moving towards the vision that, what God gave you when we started Fruition, So you want to make sure that everything you do is pointing in that direction and moving in that direction, because if it's not, then it probably doesn't need to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you are a church or even a business that's, that's started up and you're starting to expand out, and you start to notice that this one aspect of your business or this one ministry in your church isn't quite providing the outcomes that you want or you expect or you need, it may be time to prune that branch and add something else that could possibly be even more beneficial.
Right.
You just want to make sure that, you're providing the best possible product and you're reaching the most possible people. I mean, I think that's just kind of universal, whether it's a church, a business, personal relationships, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you're providing the best, reaching the most. And yes, at the end of the day, it's not all about numbers, but you want to reach as many people as possible. You want to sow as many seeds as possible, because you never know when God's going to hit. God's going to take that harvest and reap that harvest.
Right.
You never know when that seed you planted all the way in a different state or all the way in a different country. We've had people reach out and tell us, about the podcast, how much they enjoyed listening, how much is the radio ministry that you do. You just talked about that. How someone reached out to you and wants their mom to come to church here because of the radio ministry that they listen to.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, just understanding that you have a lot of opportunities ahead of you. And one thing that's just kind of, as you guys have all been talking, the book that I'm reading called Start, one of the things that he says in that is that we can't always control when or what the finish line looks like, but we can control is what the starting line looks like, where it is, what it looks like, where we start, how we start, all that sort of thing. So just understanding that, you can control, you can decide from this exact moment today, March 21st, 2023, you can decide, hey, I'm going to start this, or I'm going to start being someone different. I'm not going to be a smoker anymore. I'm not going to be an alcoholic anymore. I'm not going to be this, that, or the other anymore. I'm going to start something different. I'm going to start a new ministry. I'm going to start a new business. I'm going to start this, start that, whatever it may be. Right. You can control that. You have the ability. It's scary. It's it's uncomfortable. But again, if you don't start, then you're never going to finish. And so you have to get that starting point established. Yeah. And if it fails, it fails. I mean, not everything is going to be a success. But if it fails, you're going to learn better what to do next time.
Absolutely.
And and that's an important thing to kind of keep in mind as well.
Yeah, I think we have to begin to have a wider, bigger, deeper vision of what we're doing, and the people that we're connecting with, the people that we're speaking into, and things like that. Like, we have to understand that, we've said this time and time again, that what we post, the words we say, how we act in public, everything, man, holds weight, because we're impacting people and don't even know it, don't even know it. And I wanted to share this example with you really quick, and then we're going to talk about investors, and then I think maybe wrap it up from there. I don't know. It just depends on how the convo's vibing. But like we do this, man. We do this podcast, and it's like you don't really see you see the numbers come in, and you're like, oh, man, like, this is awesome. Like, we're doing great, But it's those personal testimonies, man, where it's like, I shared this on the radio the other day, where there was a gentleman that sent me a message on Facebook, probably looks like about 5 days ago. And I've not talked to this gentleman in years. I've not seen him probably in 20-plus years. And he sent me a message, and it says, dude, hope you're doing well. Just wanted you to know you are such an encouragement to me. Now, I've not seen this dude, not talked to this dude. How can I be an encouragement? You know what I'm saying? Haven't seen you in a long time and wanted you to know about 8 months ago, I finally accepted the call to be spreading the gospel. I've been preaching and teaching and learning. I've been listening to the People Suck, Love 'Em Anyways podcast today, and it is just what I needed to hear for an upcoming boys Emmaus walk I'll be working. Love you and hope you're having a great day. If you need anything, holler. And, you know, it really got me to thinking about how oftentimes we're not going to have everybody walk up to us on Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays and go, man, you're doing great. You're knocking it out of the park. You're awesome. You know, like you are just impacting and touching so many lives. But we also have to understand that whatever we post, you know, I don't care if it's have a great day or if it's a Bible verse or if it's, you know, whatever it might be. You know, we have to understand that our words and our actions have weight, and people are watching. You know, people are reading, and people are in the middle of it. And whether you speak to somebody or not, it doesn't matter. You can still be an inspiration to them no matter what, just by the way you live and handle your life. Just by the way you live and handle your life. And with that, I want to just switch gears and talk about investors. You know, like we said, kid, about, you know, at the beginning, man, I turned 38 years old today, and God, man, God's really been just, I don't know, man, maybe he's took me like on a Hallmark channel here lately and just kind of like, you know, let me do my whole sappy, you know, like just flashback of life type situation. But he's really been up in my feels lately, man, just about different stuff. And you know, last night as I was sitting at my kitchen table, I just began to think about my life over the last little bit and think about how, you know, this time last year, think about how much my life has changed. You know, this time last year I had a comfortable job where I got a paycheck every week and I was living comfortably and I had a routine and I knew where everything was heading and knew where everything was going, and then that turned upside down. It was turbulent. I had no clue, you know, what was happening and what was going on. And you know, we already had the church established and everything, but, you know, I'm thinking to myself, you know, everything that we, my wife and I, my family have in our life now is because of just something that we've started through the grace of God from scratch. You know, the church from scratch, grace of God. You know, personal training from scratch, grace of God. Nutrition from scratch, grace of God. Like, you know, everything has had to be hard work, but you know what? There's, you know, God really just began to speak to me last night about having investors. And what I mean by investors is having people within your life that believe in you. Now, that is a huge, huge thing, ladies and gentlemen, is to have people who believe in you. And I'm not talking about people who just look at you and smile and go, great job. You know, I'm not talking about people who want to share in the success with you, but I'm talking about people who are going to be a freaking cheerleader to you 24/7. They're there, you know, clapping. They're there to help pick you up. They're there to help smile with you. They're there for the tears. They're there for everything. And they're giving you that encouragement. You can do it. Get yourself up off the floor. Dry your tears. Come on, you got this. You know, you've been called for this. You've got this. You've got this inside of you. You got to get straight. You got to get going. You know, those kind of people, and you know, in all honesty, like Fruition Church would never be what it was without investors getting started. You know, my personal training wouldn't be where it's at without people like Darwin, who I said, you know, I gave him a shout out. He gave me my first client. He invested in me. And you know what? Now I have like 6 that I'm starting with, and hopefully we'll have 12 and 18, and who knows? You know, but it starts with investing. And even with nutrition, man, there's people that saw what I was doing and invested. They didn't even know the product. They knew me. They invested in me. And that means so much. Let's talk about investment just for a few here, because it's so important on the road of life to have people who can speak life over you and people who can speak life into you no matter the situation. You like these sirens behind us right now? It's
They're
like we're in,
after Darwin.
It's like we're in Chicago. I'm trying to like knock it out of the park with TLC here real quick, you know, or like Hallmark. I'm like trying to be real serious, and then it's like, you know, first 48 over on A&E, but it's fine.
Somebody hit Abe again.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Local joke.
But yeah, man, let's talk about how important it is just to have investors, people who speak life over you, and maybe, you know, if you want to, man, give a shout out to somebody or something, man. Just somebody that means something to you. You know what I'm saying? That's really invested.
Yeah. See, we're getting in this Hallmark mood, and so
I can't, man. If I tear up over here, bro, don't judge me. Don't judge me.
My homie.
My homie down in the hood where I
some
came out
drink in my eye. Go ahead.
Back to Compton. No.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I've had a lot of people invest in me, you know, and I really didn't deserve, a lot of the people that have invested in me, and I haven't put in as much work as I could. I haven't been as faithful as I could. I haven't been as, encouraging or as positive as you like to put it as I could. But at the end of the day, I am extremely thankful. If you are one of the biggest people that have poured into my life, over the last 2 years, I wouldn't be who I am, where I am whatsoever. Not for you, Fruition, and all that. So I'm very, very thankful for the investment that Fruition has put into my life as I've invested into Fruition. Yeah. And so that's been a very, very huge bump in not only my self-esteem and confidence, but just my spirituality as a whole. Yeah. So there's been a lot of people. I have a cousin who's now a manager at a gym in Elizabethtown. And he's invested in me just as I've invested in him. And I think that's another thing is that you want people that not only you invest in, but also invest back in you.
Yeah.
You want people.
It's a two-way street.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want that investment to come both ways.
Yeah.
Just like if you're in a relationship, you don't want just the husband to be invested in the marriage. You want the wife and the husband to be invested. Right. It goes that way with any relationship you're a part of. You want two people who are both invested in each other, both building each other up, both moving forward, motivating each other, inspiring each other. I think that's very, very important. And again, I've had a lot of people in my life who have inspired me, and I've tried to help inspire them in as many ways as possible. And I've worked a lot with kids over the last 3 or 4 years. And I try my best to be an inspiration to those kids, to motivate them, to pour into them every ounce of knowledge and wisdom that I have in the small regards that I feel like I do. But I try to help out as much as I can. I know Darwin does the same. I've seen him do his teen strength and conditioning class at the gym. I've watched him try to pour into those kids, both mentally, physically, emotionally, all those sorts of things. I've seen him and watched him do that, which is awesome. And I really like how he was talking about that. So that's a passion of his, and it's awesome that he's able to pursue that passion in the confines of the gym. Yeah. And I think it's just really important. It's awesome to watch someone who you've invested in investing in other people as well.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's definitely a motivator as well. When you see someone you've invested in investing in other people, it's awesome to watch. My cousin, again, watching him invest in other people, clients that he personal trains, people he brings into the gym, other people watching him invest in them as I've invested in him over the years is awesome. Hopefully he'll be on the podcast sometime soon. But there's a lot of stuff that a lot of people that I'm very, very thankful for in my life that have invested in me, and I've tried my best to invest in them. It's like I said, you want people who invest. It's a two-way street. So I'm very, very thankful for several people. And like I said, there's a couple that are more important to me than others. Right. But and it is your birthday. That's why I'm saying it. So that's your gift.
So next Tuesday, I wouldn't even get a shout out.
Not at all. No. But go ahead.
I have a question though. Like I said, I completely agree with you have to have people in here that build you up. What about, would you consider invest in, like you say, people, for example, so-and-so did this for me, or so-and-so told me, hey, do this, do that. And then it kind of, it dictated your life. You kind of took you took it in for the good, and you made the best out of the situation. There's a saying in fitness when we used to say this, sometimes it takes an insult to get someone moving. Uh-huh. It's good to have yeah. And this is and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just curious. Like you need those people. Hey man, you're doing great. You're doing this. You need those people. Yes, to build your self-esteem, continue to go. But sometimes you need an insult to kind of check you, to make you better, whether you take it the right way or not. Would you consider someone saying not something positive, just kind of, you might take it the wrong way, but it turns you into a better person, which makes your life better overall?
That's how I motivate Keenan every week.
Would you consider that an investment too, or is it just a yeah? Because I have a lot of people who I'm grateful for. I mean, lots of them. A lot of people that have invested in me. But I know that the road to success is a very lonely road. Yeah. And sometimes it's just you and your thoughts, and it's just you. But you have to find motivation to continue to go. And sometimes you find, and this is just speaking for myself, sometimes there's times where I found negativity to motivate me. Yeah. Would you consider that an investment? Or would you consider that someone, maybe there's someone out there that you don't like a lot, but for some reason that person just motivates you to continue to
get better.
What would you call that?
Oh, man. Just curious what I would call that. I would call that you need to come to the altar for prayer on Sunday. That's what I would call that. Yeah, bro. You need to get your life straight.
Maybe a check. Maybe you need to do this, you need to do that. I prove you that I can do this. You can't do this.
I think like me and you have talked about that a lot, is that people respond, you have to really figure out the person. what motivates the person. You know what I'm saying? Each person is different, okay? And so let's give an example really quick, man. And I don't know how long we've been on this thing. I mean, who knows? 45? Oh, we still got at least an hour and a half then. But no,
Darwin's wife may not agree with
I
you
know,
there.
right? True. Shout out Chelsea.
Yeah.
But you know, let's take an example right here. Me and a good friend was talking about this yesterday. Whenever you go out to eat, say you're at a nice restaurant, y'all can pick one if you want to. But
Mr.
Hey,
Ruth's Chris.
Names and all.
Ruth's Chris. We're at Ruth's Chris. We fine dining, right?
Wow.
All right. So we're there eating, okay, and a waiter comes by, and not a very good waiter, a decent waiter, but not one that's really on top of the game, right? And you're constantly running out of drink, all right? And instead of that waiter having to come around all the time, then that waiter just sets a pitcher of that drink on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you don't have to run out, okay? Now, some people, again, would look and go, well, thank God, I can just pour my own drink so I don't have to worry about waiting to not come out of a drink. Now, some people would be like, forget this, I came out to eat to be waited on.
all those people who hate using self-checkout at Walmart.
Absolutely. You know, I didn't come here to check my own self out. I came here to do, you know. So to me, you're always going to have a different variation of people. It's just like when I minister on Sundays, it's just like when you're in the gym with people. Every client that you have, kid, personal client, class, it doesn't matter, is a different person, and a different emotional mindset. And what responds and motivates one person may literally shut another person down. Mm-hmm. Okay? And so, to me, it's not the fact of if it's right or wrong if you respond to motivation or if you respond to insult and negativity. It's not right or wrong. It's knowing what that person responds to. You know, if negativity, and let's just say somebody comes and says, it doesn't
always have to be negativity, but it could be a very direct
statement.
Raw,
right.
Very
Yeah, just a
straightforward.
Absolutely. If somebody comes to Darwin Perez and says, you know, you need to check yourself and you need to get da-da-da-da-da, you know, okay. Well, okay. You know, you might respond to that and be like, you know what? I tell you what, I'm going to use that for fuel. That's fire right there, baby. I want to get started. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else, good old, you know, thin skin me over here, softy,
Thin Skin McGee.
Thin Skin McGee, softy with a Hallmark touch. You know, somebody might come at me and be like, Keenan, you suck. You know, now on the outside, I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, man. You know. And then, like, I'm going to start driving home, like you said. Sometimes it's just a lonely road with your feelings, you know? Mm-hmm. And sometimes you're going to be like, well, what do I suck for? You know? Like, what do you mean? Like, what's going on? You know? And at that moment in time, it's like, you know, same statement, two different people. You know what I'm saying? One might motivate you. One might shut me down.
Would you consider it, though, an investment still?
An investment?
Would you consider a hater an investor? Because we all, like I said, you need haters.
Ooh.
We all need them because people are going to hate you whether you do it or not. You're going to have people that like you and people hate you.
Yeah, no.
But sometimes your haters motivate you.
Right.
Would you consider your haters as an investment?
I don't think they're personally trying to invest in your life. I think they're trying to tear your life down.
Well, yeah,
I think they're trying to stop your life. To personally invest, because we always, to me, whenever you say the word invest, I think good. Nobody wants to invest in a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? Unless you see potential in it somewhere along the way, and then you're not a hater.
Well, a lot of the times you learn from failure and bad things happening. That's how we grow.
Right.
So it's all needed. Like there's good and bad. I'm just saying. What I'm asking, my question was just, would you consider someone who is not a you can do this, more like you're not going to do this, I don't believe that you're going to do this, and be like, you know what, I will prove you that I got this, and I go out there and do it. And that, overall, just like you get cut from a team, for example. You know, my son it just happened the other day. He was on the A team. They brought me in, and they said, your son's not good enough to be on the A team. We're going to put him on the B team.
Uh-huh.
It hurt me. I ain't gonna lie to you. It hit my pride.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know he needed that. So when I took him out there, I was very direct and straightforward. Listen, they don't think you're good enough.
Yeah.
to be on the A team, and they're bringing you to the B team because
Right.
he's 80 years old and he should know that.
Right.
Some parents will be like, no, I
Don't
told
hurt
him.
his feelings, Darwin.
Yeah, right.
No,
Yeah.
I was very direct.
Yeah.
So you have two options. We only had one, but it was a trick question. I would never let him quit, but I wanted to see his response.
Yeah.
When he said, I said, option number one is you go out there and you work your hardest like you've never worked before. You prove every single of those coaches that they were wrong cutting you, putting you on the B team, and they're going to regret that choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you go out there and beat everybody.
Yeah.
Option two, we find you a different team and we can take you. We look option two. Maybe we take you out and go to a different team that maybe someone believes you. And he asked me, do I still have a shot to making it to the A team if you work really hard?
Yeah.
And then I said, he was like, well,
And you know the right people.
He said, I was like, don't tell me. He was like, well, you choose. I was like, no. I'm going to let you choose. Sleep on it. Let me know tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah.
He said, I'll stay on the B team.
Yeah.
He's been working his butt off. What I'm saying is, at that moment, for example, he needs to hear that. Sometimes you need to hear, no, you can't do this.
Right.
To get the best out of you.
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah,
consider
yeah.
that an investment? That's
Yes.
what I'm trying to say.
Yes. In that regard,
He finally gets it.
Yeah,
Yes.
well. In the regards of what he's saying, because I don't consider those coaches haters. I consider them an assessment of talent.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
No, not really, because this
is Darwin's kid we're talking about, Keenan.
Don't you take over this podcast, dog.
They took him out, and I'm not trying
take
to
over this show.
I'm not trying to say my kid, but they took him for another kid. And when you play youth sports, there's always politics, especially it's so and so.
That's why I said it depends on who you know.
Oh man, don't give me this, man. I've been through this. What I'm saying, my question is, could you use that as an investment? Because I could. Hundreds of times, and I'm one of those people that I have used that kind of people telling me no, and I have proven them, and it has overall made me a better person.
Yeah.
To me, I'm thinking as Darwin's talking, I'm thinking of like those times in our life when we really want something, but God tells us no. It's just like you're not ready for it, you're not good enough for it, you're not ready, you're not strong enough for it, you're not prepared enough for it. I'm not giving this to you yet. You have to work harder, you have to invest more, you have to move harder, you have to keep putting more into this until you're, like we were talking at the very beginning, if you're not faithful over that little amount, then, God's not going to bless you with a bigger amount.
Right.
So, we have to be poured into, sometimes in a seemingly negative way because we want something, and if God's not letting us have it, we're going to get upset about it.
Yeah.
If a coach is telling us we're not good enough, we're going to be upset about it. If a boss is telling us we're not good enough and not to get that promotion, we're going to be upset about it. And again, I think also to what you were saying, some people are going to be motivated by that, some people aren't. Some people are going to go home, they're going to cry about it, and they're going to quit their job because they want to move on to another boss.
Right.
But some people are going to go home, they're like, all right, I believe I deserve this promotion, and I'm going to work harder so that way next time that this opens up, I'm going to get it.
Right.
Next time that this position on the A team opens up, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
Next time that God, I'm presented with this opportunity, God's going to bless me with it. I think some people will use it as a motivator, some people won't. Again, that kind of speaks to the person, as what Keenan was talking about there. And I also think, as you guys were talking, another John Acuff thing. I think it was John that said this. The books I was reading, it says some people are motivated by a fear of failure, but some people are motivated by the hope of success. So some people are going to be motivated by that. Oh my gosh, if I don't do more, try harder, I'm going to fail.
Right. Yeah.
But then some people are like, if I don't go harder and move harder, I'm not going to succeed.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's a mindset shift, I think, that some people have. Some
True.
people are going to be motivated by okay, if I don't try harder, I'm not going to make it. But some people are going to be motivated, if I don't try harder, I'm not going to succeed.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a verbiage thing. But I think the insults, as you're kind of saying, like the constructive criticism that people give sometimes, I think it can be a motivator to other people. I think it can be a form of pouring into somebody else because you can see. I mean, how many times have you poured into your kids before? Like, I can see your potential. I see what you're able and capable of doing, but you're not living up to it right now.
You
are screwing up
every day.
You are messing up. And God does the same thing to us.
Yeah.
We do the same thing. As leaders, we do the same thing to people underneath us. And I think I get what he's saying, and I think it's very important for us to realize that, to grasp that, and I think it's also important for us not to always see criticism as a negative,
right?
Because I think there's a lot of people out there that hear criticism and they take it immediately to heart. I'm one I've done that multiple times before. Someone says something bad and I immediately get mad, I immediately get sad, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's important for us to use those things as motivators to try to achieve more, to try to do better, because as we've read in the Bible, God has prepared us for a time such as this. He's put us in this position for a reason. You know, he's not giving us more than we can handle. So if we're receiving this constructive criticism, if we're receiving these insults, if people are pouring these things into us, then that's just it should be seen as, you know, a motivator for us to try harder, to move harder, because we weren't put here to fail necessarily. You know, we were meant to thrive, we were meant to survive. We were meant to succeed, and I think that that's something important for us to kind of realize.
So you're saying we're both right, but it's more like 60-40 me. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is, you were talking about growing your businesses, and one of the rules that I've always made, and is, if you want to grow a business, you can't just always have cheerleaders and be like, yeah. In fact, if you have a lot of people that always say, yeah, you probably need to get a new set of friends, and we're talking about investing and growing. And to me, one of the best ways I personally grow is by people telling me, hey, Darwin, you need to do this. You need to do this. That's okay, but you could do it better by doing this. Boom, 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 boom. And sometimes it hurts. I just got that the other day. Someone said that I don't know how to, you know, say things when I talk to clients. And, you know, it was someone I greatly respect. So I took the time to listen. She was right. She just said, take your time, think it over, say it a few times before you call that specific person. And I was like, you're really telling me how to talk? You know? But I respect them so much that I did. And I got off the phone and thought about it. And I was like, she's right. Yeah. And it hurt my pride, but I'm just saying, sometimes you need to have people that your investors. Sometimes are the people that just keep it straight up with you. And keep it kinda,
you're welcome, Keenan.
Yeah.
This is the debate that me and Hab have all the time.
Oh, I know, man.
It is. You have it all
You're
the
really
time.
starting to see the inside conversations that we have on a daily basis, for sure. So now getting this derailed train back on track. Yeah, back in here. So talk about Darwin, some people that's invested in you, you know, and just, you know, I mean, give me a second, you know, that's invested in you, man. It's to help get you where you're at today. Your mom, 100%, man. She's a sweet lady.
Cliche. That sounds all
absolutely.
That,
I love her to death. She's a great lady. I miss her breakfast.
It is just one of the most genuine, just straightforward person. I'm probably too alike. We're so similar. She's just caring, doesn't care about nothing else, and she'll never change. She'll just be who she is. She'll probably work till the end of her days. Yeah. It hurts me to say that. I can't change who she is. She is content, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Right. She is content who she is. But just her work ethic, the way she carries herself, it doesn't matter. I mean, and I take this to heart, and this is what's missing in our society is, whatever you do, she's always told me, do it to the best of your abilities or don't do it at all. And we hear that all the time. Yeah. And I think she's just one person that takes that to heart. Yeah. And she just passed that down to me, and I love her to death. She's given. I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for her. So, yeah, shout out to my mom. I could sit here and cry, but no, that's it. It's my hero.
All right.
My mom.
Anybody else?
I mean, there's lots of people.
It's my birthday. Oh man,
man. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that have invested. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people that have poured into my life. But I mean, just I don't know, man. Like I said, we don't have time and day to talk about what my mom. But it's just my mom. But yeah, of course, my wife. I don't think I'd be the person that I am if she didn't insult me and told me I was a scrawny little kid. So again, I wouldn't be the fittest in Mexico.
Marriage 101 with Darwin Perez.
Man, we can sit there and talk about that, but I'm telling you, man, it would took that. And there you go. Did it hurt my pride? Of course it did, but it changed my path, and I got all jacked, and look at me now.
How did you know she truly loved you?
Yeah. She only loves you for your muscles, Darwin.
Yeah, she called me scrawny.
My waist is bigger than yours. I was like, baby, this is called an 8-pack. Yeah. Oh, you're scrawny. You know, it took an insult, and there you go. So, like I said, man, my wife, of course, you, when I need prayer.
Sounds like more consistently.
The more that we dive into his life, it's like, man, I need you. You know, like, prayer, I need your help, man.
Prayer, dog.
I need prayer. Yeah, man. Just me, myself. I mean, you know, again, man, thankful. Kind of like, you know, my mom and dad, man, they set some really good examples for me as far as hard work and never giving up, and just, man, they worked their hind ends off, you know, to give us the best of what we had. And, you know, my wife for sure, for, you know, never stopping believing in me. And She's kind of like Chelsea. She gives me a lot of crap sometimes, man. But she's always with me through every venture of life, and always there to invest and to do. While I'm out running crazy hours of the day and doing everything, man, she's always there. Holding things down and doing what she does and allowing me to do what I do. Very thankful for that. And, just along the way, man, just meeting different people. This last year of my life has really been about just taking my life to the next level. And you got to get around people that's at that next level. And just kind of, it's hard for me to kind of shut up and sit and listen sometimes. But I really, yeah, right. Whenever you don't talk, Nick, I got to talk a lot, but, this last year has really just been about me just kind of listening to people that are on different levels and just kind of take in and be that sponge and see what I can do, to get there myself one day. So, I'm kind of like you. Shout out to all those people. I can't go and list and name all of them. But nonetheless for that. But I just want to leave everybody with a story that I heard tonight. And you guys can chime in on this. You can drop your opinions if you want to. But I was listening to a podcast today, and I always, my routine's pretty much the same in the mornings, man. I pray, and after I pray, if I'm in the car, I'm always turning on something to listen to just stimulate my mind, motivate my, just to motivate my spirit to get going in the mornings. And I heard a story this morning, and this guy was talking, and he said, there was this kid that was just coming up in the business. And he just wanted to be as successful and make as much money as what he could, and he went to the owner, he went to the guru, the top, and he said, I want to study you. I want to know what it takes to do what you do, to be as successful as what you are. And the old man said, all right. He said, if this is what you want to do, meet me at the beach in the morning at 4 a.m. And he said, at the beach? Figured we'd meet at work, and he said, no, meet me at the beach in the morning, 4 a.m. And he said, all right. So he shows up on the beach at 4 a.m. the next morning, still dark outside, and meets the old man there, and he's in his suit, not the old man, but the young whippersnapper who's ready to learn. He's in a suit. And the old man first off said, you probably should have wore shorts instead of a suit. And he said, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, we're going to take a walk. And he said, let's take a walk just out into the ocean. And so they walked out to knee deep, and they stopped for a second. The old man looked at him, and he said, how you feeling right now? And he said, well, I don't really know what this has to do with success. And he said, well, just follow me and just listen to me, and you'll figure it out. And he said, follow me a little bit further. And they made it out to their waist, and he stopped again. And by this time, the young whippersnapper, he thought, man, this dude's just crazy. Like, he's just off his rocker. He's stupid. Like, what does this have to do with anything? He said, I need you to follow me just a little bit deeper. And they got out to where it was at their necks, pretty much, the water was. And the old man looked at the young whippersnapper, and he said, I'm going to need you to take a breath and to hold it. And he said, okay. And so he took a breath and he held it. And then the old guy pushed this guy underneath the water and held him underneath the water. And he was fighting, man. He was fighting for everything that he had, and I mean, fighting, and he stayed underwater for a pretty good bit, and the old man finally allowed him to come back up out of the water, and he said, and the first question, of course, out of his mouth, what did you do that for? And the old man said, what was you thinking about whenever you were under the water? And the young man said, breathing. I was thinking about breathing again. And he said, that's the key to success, young man. Whenever you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, you'll be successful. Because in that moment, nothing else mattered. Mm-hmm. Nothing else mattered but being successful, being able to breathe. And I think, and you guys can elaborate to this if you want to, but that really spoke volumes into my life this morning, is the fact of that whenever you want something bad enough, nothing else should matter at that moment. You know what I'm saying? Whenever we wanted the church to succeed, nothing else mattered. Nothing else mattered. We were here 24/7, 365, whenever you want your marriage to succeed, nothing else matters. Your kids, nothing else matters but that. Whenever you want something bad enough to succeed, you'll do anything it takes to get there. We have that shirt, whatever it takes. And so, that's my spiel tonight. That really spoke into my life, that whenever you want it bad enough, just like you want to breathe, then you can be successful. Nick, if you got anything else to say, man, go ahead.
I don't know, like, you've just been really, like, harsh on the vibe tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
Right,
very,
man.
very, very mellow and
very,
serious.
very toned out, man. Stuff like that just gets me, man.
Yeah, get you in your feels. But,
it does.
I think it's important, and as we've talked about, so many times before, if you really want to be happy in life, you're going to want to chase your passions, but not just chase your passions. Chase it full-heartedly. You want to be engulfed in it. You want to be enveloped in it. If that passion is your marriage, if that passion is your kids, if that passion is your job, whatever it is, whatever you care the most about is where you're going to spend the most of your time. We have a lot of time during the day. We like to say time is finite, but we find time for things that we want to find time for.
Absolutely.
And so, if you want to be successful, you'll find time to be successful. You'll find time to start small, to invest and to do internships, to do part-time jobs, to learn the business, to learn this, to learn that, to dive in any way, shape, or form that you can. You're going to find the opportunities to do so, and you're going to run with it.
Absolutely.
You're not going to just play with it. You're not going to just, mess around with it here and there. It's not going to be a side hustle, side hobby. It's going to be a second part-time or second full-time job.
Yeah.
Your marriage may be a second full-time job. Your kids may be a second full-time job. Wherever you want that passion, wherever you want to see success is where you need to be pouring into on a regular basis.
Right.
And, we're going to do that, in whatever we find important in our own lives, again, whether that's marriage, church, family, job, whatever it may be. So I think it's just important to make sure that, as a listening audience, wherever you're at right now, and just understand that, take a second and just do an inventory of your life, find what you're spending the most time on, and then ask yourself, if am what I'm spending the most time on. There we go. I got it out.
Yeah.
Am what I'm spending the most time on what I'm really passionate about. And if it's not, maybe it's time to change that. Maybe it's time to re-look and, say, hey, maybe if I woke up an hour earlier every day, it's a lot easier to wake up an hour early and do something extra than it is to do it when you get home from work, because you're already worn out. You've done wasted your will. This is another thing I learned from a book. I think it was John Acuff again, is that willpower is not infinite. Your willpower will run out by the end of the day. If you've spent all of your time, working and pouring into your customers, pouring into your family, pouring into your church, you're going to be exhausted by the end of the day. So you want to start when your willpower is at its highest, which is the beginning of the day. If you want to start working out, you have a better chance of doing that at the beginning of the day, because you're going to be doing that. You're not going to be tired. You're going to have that. You're going to eliminate that excuse of, I've done all this all day long and I'm exhausted.
Right.
You're going to eliminate that excuse. So, when you find what you're passionate about, when you find what you spend most of your time on, find that, look at it, evaluate it, and trying to decide for yourself, is this something that I want to spend more time on, pour more of my life into, or is there something I'm more passionate about? And that's where you're going to find that definition of success at.
Absolutely, man. Go ahead.
I think one of the biggest problems that we have in this society is honestly, and I deal with this all the time. I ask kids, and actually you were there when I asked one of our good friends.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, what are your goals?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's so many people out there that they just don't know what they want. And that I think there's so many people, when you ask, they're just, what do you want to go to school for? I'm undecided. What do you want to do? I don't know. I just feel like there's so many people out there that just don't have a reason to chase anything. And that is a very, very, very dangerous stage to be in. So I encourage anybody that's out there, man, to like you said, to really, really just take the time and really, really, really look yourself in the mirror, really, really look deep at what you want, and be straight honest with yourself. Those honest questions, and those are really, really hard to ask yourself sometimes. But I think that's just the problem. Is a lot of people don't know what they really want, and we live in a society that everything's handed to us. Everything's so easy to get. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just get stuck living life. We wake up and get on our phone and do that, and next thing you know, we wonder why we're not hungry, ambitious, or anything.
Right. Yeah, we just kind of lull ourselves to sleep, man. For
and
sure.
Also understand that you're, and as we've talked about it a couple of times, but understanding that you could be listening right now. You may be 22, you may be 55, you may be 78, and you may not have pursued that passion yet, but that doesn't mean you can't. You still have the ability. Again, you control the starting line. You may start at 78 and live your life to the fullest from then until you die. You may start at 22 and you live your life fullest until you die.
I know people that are in their like 60s. They start living their lives. I mean, I know people that have found fitness at their later age in life and just completely, Lorraine, completely just change everything.
Right.
So you're right, 100%. It's never too late. Never too late to start. You just got to make that difficult, awkward talk with yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ask those really, really deep questions and go from there.
Absolutely.
Pray to God.
The only one standing in my way is me, and I stopped doing that yesterday.
There you go, man.
There you go.
More John Acuff wisdom.
Oh, I was going to say, did you do that?
No.
Or okay, all right, man.
I feel like I'm going to run through a wall.
I tell you what, we're about to do this, man. I'm so
Let's
pumped.
go.
I'm so pumped up. But thank you guys so much, man. Thank you to Darwin Perez again for being here tonight and sharing some thoughts with us. And, of course, as always, my sidekick, Nick, who's always here to help mellow us out. I feel like I was the mellow one tonight, man.
A little bit, but
yeah,
it's okay. It's your birthday. I
was going to say, hopefully by next Tuesday, man, I'll be just ready to go again. But yeah, man, just good episode. Thank you guys so much. Again, tell your friends, tell your family about what's going on with this. Hit that download button and help keep this steam rolling. We love you. We appreciate you, and be blessed until the next episode.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go.
Thank you to everyone for listening to the People Suck But Love Them Anyways podcast. As always, you can check us out on Facebook at Fruition Church, YouTube at Fruition Church of Hodgenville, and check out our website at www.fruitionchurchky.org. Remember, don't suck and love people.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.